Hello everyone, today we will be discussing leadership. Our presentation will cover the following topics. First, the nature of leadership, exploring what leadership means and its importance in organizations. Next, power and leadership, understanding how leaders use power and influence. Next topic is leadership, traits, skills, and styles, examining the qualities, abilities, and approaches that define effective leaders. Next is the managerial grid and management style, discussing how leaders balance concern for people and production. Next topic will be contingency approaches to leadership, looking at how leadership styles must adapt to different situations. And last but not the least, path-goal theory of leadership and empowerment, explaining how leaders motivate and support their teams toward success. Through these topics, we aim to better understand the different aspects and approaches to leadership. So, let's begin. Hello everyone, my name is Khryzza Sinsuat, and I will be presenting about the nature of leadership in an organization. So this presentation will help us understand what is leadership, why is it essential to public administration, and how it differs from management. Let's begin by defining leadership. So leadership is the ability to influence, guide, and motivate individuals or groups toward the achievement of a common goal. It involves setting a clear vision, making decisions that benefit the team or organization, and encouraging people to work together effectively. So, a strong leader communicates well, builds trust, and helps the team to move forward, especially during times of change or difficulty. Leadership plays a very important role to public administration. First, it ensures effective service delivery to the public. Leaders guides their employees in government agency to perform their duties with efficiency and integrity. Second, leadership promotes transparency, accountability, and ethical decision-making in government processes. Third, leaders in public service help motivate teams, manage conflict, and create a work environment that supports teamwork and professionalism. Lastly, effective leadership encourages citizen engagement and helps build trust between the government and the people. So to summarize it all, leadership is there to guide their employees or subordinates to perform their duties with the core values essential to public administration, as mentioned and enumerated earlier. Now let's talk about the difference between leadership and management. Although these two are often used together, they serve different functions in an organization. Leadership is about setting a vision, inspiring people, and driving change. Leaders influence and motivate their team towards a common goal. On the other hand, management focuses more on planning, organizing, and controlling resources. Managers make sure that the system and processes are followed properly. In short, leaders create direction and motivation, while managers ensure stability and order. Both roles are necessary in successful organization, especially in public service, where innovation and structure is important. To summarize, leadership is more than just giving orders. It's about guiding, inspiring, and empowering others to contribute to a shared goal. In public administration, effective leadership leads to a better governance, improved services, and a stronger connection with the public. So, that is all for my presentation, and thank you for listening.
Hello everyone! Magandang araw, magandang gabi, magandang tanghali sa inyo lahat. I am Engineer Jason C. Gallego and I will be presenting to you the topic Power and Leadership and will mostly focus on the topic Power. So first of all, i-define muna natin ano ang power. Ano ba ang definition ng power? So according kay Stephen P. Robbins and Timothy A. Judge, sa kanilang Organizational Behavior Textbook, power is the capacity that a person A has to influence the behavior of person B, so that person B acts in accordance with person A's wishes. So si Robin and Judge, they emphasizes influence and behavioral control. And also, according naman kay Maximilian Karl Weber, isang sociologist, power is the ability to achieve one's goal even in the face of opposition from others. So si Max Weber, ang focus niya naman is dominance and overcoming resistance. And lastly, according kay Henry Mintzberg, isang management theorist, power in organizations is the medium through which conflict of interest are ultimately resolved. Power is the capacity to affect the outcome of others. According naman kay Mintzberg, power is about settling conflicts and shaping outcomes. But merong simplest form ng definition ng power. Power is the ability to influence or control the behavior, actions, beliefs, or attitudes of others to achieve desired outcomes. So, sa kanyang simpleng definition, dito na lahat. It is the ability to influence. Ibig sabihin, nakokontrol niya or may kinalaman siya sa magiging behavior, action, beliefs, or attitude of others para sa isang kagustuhan ng resulta or desired outcome. So, ang definition ng power is very powerful. Next part is pag-usapan naman natin ang 5 major types and sources of power. So, first is the legitimate power. Definition: legitimate power arises when an individual derives authority from their position or role within an organization, enabling them to influence others due to their assigned status. This form of power is generally accepted by others because it is based on established norms, values, and structures. So itong leadership power, which is the legitimate power, is very common na sa ating mga offices, company. Kumbaga, yung position nila yung nagdidictate na kanilang power of authority. Example, yung CEO sa isang company. So, if she possesses legitimate power to make business decisions and direct employees due to their role within the company. Another example is yung judge. Ang judge is merong legitimate power, which is she exercises legitimate power by making legal decisions based on the authority given to them by the judicial system. So, sa madaling sabi, ang legitimate power derives power na nag-aaray sa individual from their position or role within an organization. Kumbaga, siya yung sa pinakataas, so kaya niyang mag-command, kaya niyang mag-utos sa kanyang lower employees. Second is the coercive power. So, definition: coercive power is based on the ability of one individual or entity to force another to comply with the directives through threats, punishments, or negative sanctions. It operates on fear, compelling individuals to act in a certain way to avoid negative consequences, which can be physical, social, or economic. So, yung coercive power naman is leadership power kung saan natatakot or natithreatened na yung employee kaya nafo-force na siyang gawin yung trabaho sa posibilidad na meron siyang consequence if hindi niya nagawa. So, very common din siya ang coercive power sa ating mga household. For example is yung strict parenting. A parent might employ coercive power by using threats to make their children behave. Another naman is yung sa mga police authority o kaya yung mga nanguhuli sa atin sa daan, mga Traffic Management Unit, LTO, and HPG. So, for example, police can exert coercive power by using their legal authority to hand out tickets and fines. Third major types of power is the referent or the charismatic power. So, ang definition nito is it arises from the ability of a person to attract others and build loyalty based on interpersonal relationships, charisma, or identification with the individual. It is a form of influence that is strongly based on personal attraction and the ability to inspire admiration or emulation from others. So, diretso na tayo sa examples. A popular celebrity, artista, or any other na sikat may have referent power. As fans, so na-influence tayo or na-inspire tayo by their style, behavior, lifestyle, charisma, kapugian, kagandahan. So, ayun. So, another example is a charismatic leader. Within a community may possesses referent power, inspiring trust and loyalty among community members who identify with or admire them. So, paminsan common din siya sa politics. Kasi may kilalang personnel, pogi, maganda, magaling sa ganito. Ayun, kumbaga na-influensyahan tayo or na-i-inspire or na-admire tayo agad sa mga taong ganun. Sa mga sikat, popular, or very charismatic person. Next is the expert power. So, expert power is derived from an individual's superior skills, knowledge, or expertise in a particular area, which influences others to follow them. This type of power is often non-coercive and accepted willingly by those who recognize the value of specialized knowledge or abilities of the expert. So, itong leadership power na to is yung tinatawag natin na mga dalubhasa na, yung mga magagaling na talaga sa kanilang own field or sa kanilang own profession. So, hindi mo na kailangang mag-force, which is sinabi sa definition na non-coercive siya, and then hindi mo na kailangang i-question bago ka sumunod sa kanya. Kasi naniniwala na tayo or may believe na tayo sa kanya na meron siyang special skills, which is superior skills, knowledge, and expertise na siya doon sa mismong field na tinutukoy niya. So, yung if ever man na may utos siya or may command siya, talagang susundin natin kasi alam na natin yung capabilities and knowledge niya. And last is the reward power. So, reward power, ito yung mga paborito natin, especially sa mga employees, sa offices and other companies. So, reward power refers to a leader's ability to provide incentives to encourage desired behaviors or outcomes. It can include promotions, bonuses, praise, or any other form of reward that can motivate people to achieve their goals. It can be strong incentive but should be paired with referent power to be most effective. So, itong leadership power na to, ang pinaka-favorite natin. So, pag may suhol or may kapalit na biyaya, resgada tayo agad na sumunod sa mga utos or sa kung ano mang sabihin. So, kumbaga, binibigyan tayo ng kapalit or any form of thanks or incentives to encourage us na gawin natin yung trabaho natin. So, itong reward power is another way of motivating employee to work and achieve a certain goal or achievement sa ating workplaces. So, example, mga work bonuses. Ito, work bonus. A sale manager provide extra bonuses to team members who exceeds their monthly sales target. Another is extra credit. A high school teacher offers extra credit for students who read beyond the required coursework. So that is reward power. Next is, nakikita niyo sa ating screen, is the comparison summary table. So there are these are the 5 major types of power. The base of power, which is the legitimate, reward, coercive, expert, and referent. So, ang kanyang definition na explain natin kanina, pati yung example, so, pwede nyo nang basahin sa screen. And, ang pag-uusapan natin dito is yung pros and cons ng ating mga major types of power. So, for the legitimate power, ang pros niya is ensures order and predictability in an organization. It helps in maintaining an organized chain of command. So, ang kanyang cons naman is not strong without other forms of power stacked on top. So, may promote a hierarchical culture that stifles creativity. So, sa legitimate power, mas nagiging organized yung order ng command kasi nga galing siya sa high authority pababa. So, ang kanyang cons lang naman is nawawala yung ating mga creativity pagdating sa mga discussion or sa pagdating sa ating mga workplaces. Kasi nga, yung form ng yung flow na instruction is from leader and then pababa sa kanyang next na position, supervisor or any other mas lower, and then hanggang sa makaabot na sa mas mababa. So yung flow ng instruction or yung flow ng command is hierarchical lang. So it stifles the creativity. So para naman sa reward, ang kanyang pros can motivate employees to perform better. So sino ba naman hindi mag-perform better kapag merong reward? So it enhances positive behavior through rewards. At kanyang cons naman, it can lead to dependency or expectancy of or on rewards. So tends to fade over time and is ineffective if rewards are not aligned with the followers' desire. So yun nga ang kanyang pros. Siyempre gaganahan ka kasi may reward and then may incentives. Whereas ang kanyang cons naman is nagiging dependent tayo sa mga reward na binibigay sa atin para makapagtrabaho tayo. So nag-expect na tayo paminsan na may kapalit or may bonus, incentive sa mga ginagawa natin sa work. And then yun na, nagiging ineffective siya kapag walang reward or kapag yung reward is hindi inclined sa ating desire. So proceed na tayo sa coercive. Coercive naman, ang kanyang pros is it can ensure compliance and adherence to rules, effective for short-term objectives. Ang kanyang cons can breed resentment and fear among subordinates and negatively impact leader-subordinate relationship. So about naman dito sa coercive, mas sure natin na gagawin yung trabaho kasi nga gina-force natin and then immediately siya magagawa. And then ang kanyang cons is yun nga, natatakot na yung mga employee kasi nga pangit yung ugali or yung leader natin is forcefully tayong inuutusan and then nagkakaroon tayo ng interaction and then nagkakaroon ng lamat yung ating leader-subordinate relationship. And now, let's proceed sa expert. So, ang kanyang pros is foster respect and trust among colleagues. And ang kanyang cons naman must be proven to subordinate and get respect. So, takes time to develop as you need to actually gain expertise. So, itong expert, hindi basta-basta kasi kailangan mo pang magtiwala yung mga worker mo sa iyo, kailangan mo pang ipakita o kailangan mo pang i-show sa kanila yung expertise mo sa mga skills mo sa mga trabaho nyo. And then ang kanyang pros naman, kapag na well known ka na sa kanila, kilala ka na nila, alam na nila yung skills mo, yung pagka-inclined mo, pagkagaling mo sa profession mo, so mas magkakaroon ka na ng respect and trust among colleagues. And then mas nagiging okay ang flow ng work nyo kasi nga naniniwala na sila sa capabilities and knowledge mo. And lastly, itong referent. So, ang kanyang pros, it foster a positive and motivational work environment and build strong interpersonal relationship. And then, ang kanyang cons naman, takes time to develop as it is based on relationship. So, kagaya din ng expert, yung referent, kailangan mo rin i-build yung trust, kailangan mo makilala yung leader nyo. So, kumbaga, and then ang kanyang pros naman, kumbaga kung kilala mo na siya and then na-attract na sa kanya, na-admire ka na sa kanyang kagalingan, sa kanyang style, sa kanyang behavior, magkakaroon na kanyang positive and motivational work environment. And it will build a strong interpersonal relationship sa inyong workplace. So, yun lang yung comparison summary table. So, that's all for the topic of power. So, thank you very much and have a wonderful day, night, noon sa inyong lahat.
Good day, this is GAUDANEZ and PAMAYLAON, and I'm going to discuss on how power is exercised in leadership and influence tactics in the public sector. Public sector leaders often blend these sources of power to achieve effective governance while maintaining transparency and accountability. Here's the source of power in leadership. In public sector, power refers to the capacity to affect others' behavior, decisions, or opinions. Leaders rely on various sources of power to exercise their authority. First, we have the legitimate power, which derives from holding an official position such as mayor, governor, or department head. And we have the reward power, the ability to offer benefits or incentives in exchange for compliance. Then we have the coercive power, the authority to enforce compliance through threats or punishments. And we have the expert power, which is based on specialized knowledge or skills that inspire trust and respect. And lastly, we have the relevant power, which gains through personal qualities such as integrity, charisma, or the ability to inspire loyalty. Public sector leaders often blend these sources of power to achieve effective governance while maintaining transparency and accountability. What are influence tactics? So, influence tactics are the methods used by leaders to persuade others to align with their objectives. So, it is a core tool of leadership effectiveness. It is also integral to public decision making. So, these tactics are both formal and informal and must be applied carefully given the public sector's unique ethical and legal framework. Some of the key influence tactics include the rational persuasion, where leaders use logical arguments and factual evidence to support their position. This is often employed when advocating for new policies or programs, where data and analysis are pivotal to gaining buy-in from stakeholders. Second, we have the inspirational appeals, where leaders motivate others by appealing to shared values or ideals such as patriotism, civic duty, or community welfare. This approach is particularly effective in rallying support for public initiatives. And we have the consultation. This tactic involves seeking input from others before making decisions. In the public sector, consultation ensures that decisions are made inclusively, fostering collaboration and transparency, which enhance public trust. The invitation, where leaders use flattery or praise to build goodwill and establish strong working relationships. While this tactic must be employed cautiously to avoid appearing insincere, this is often used to cultivate positive rapport with subordinates and external partners. And we have the personal appeals, where leaders request compliance based on personal relationships or loyalty. This is often leveraging the trust and respect that have been built over time. And we have additional influence tactics, which is the exchange, offering something in return for support, such as committing to support another leader's initiative in exchange for their backing on a different matter. While exchange can be an effective way to build alliances, it must be done within the boundaries of ethical governance. And we have the coalition building, where leaders often collaborate with other influential leaders or groups to strengthen their position. This is particularly important in intergovernmental relationship and when seeking to gain support from external stakeholders. And we have the legitimating tactics. These tactics involve referring to laws, regulations, and established policies to justify a decision or action. In the public sector, legitimacy is crucial as leaders must act within legal framework to maintain trust. And we have the pressure. Although typically seen as a last resort, pressure tactics involve making demands or imposing deadlines to ensure compliance. While necessary in some cases, excessive use of pressure can undermine morale, and reduce collaboration. Contextual factors influencing the exercise of power. The public sector operates within a complex environment shaped by various contextual factors that impacts the exercise of influence and power. So first we have the bureaucratic structures. So public sector organizations are often highly hierarchical with clearly defined roles and responsibilities. This structure can limit the flexibility of influence tactics and constrain informal methods of persuasion. So we have also the political environment. So public sector leaders must navigate political dynamics, including elections, party interest, and the demands of elected officials. Political considerations can both enhance and limit the ability of leaders to exert influence, particularly when partisan interests are at stake. We have the organizational culture. So the culture within the public organizations shapes the extent to which leaders can utilize certain influence tactics. For example, agencies with a strong culture of accountability by discourage manipulative tactics like coercion or the ingratiations. And we have the ethical and legal constraints. So public sector leaders are bound by legal frameworks and ethical standards which restrict the use of certain influence tactic. Ensuring transparency, fairness, and equity in decision making is crucial for maintaining public trust. We also have these ethical considerations and challenges. Public sector leaders is subject to higher ethical standards than leadership in the private sector. So leaders must be mindful of how they wield power and influence to avoid, first, the abuse of power. So ethical leadership requires careful use of authority, avoiding tactics that exploit or manipulate others. And we have the transparency and the accountability, where public leaders must operate transparently, documenting decisions and providing clear explanation to the public to avoid corruption and ensure trust. And lastly, we have the balancing authority and participation. While strong leadership is essential for decision making, over centralization of power can stifle innovation, while too much reliance on participatory processes can slow down necessary actions. So in conclusion, the effective use of power and influence in public sector leadership is not only about commanding authority. It is about applying influence in a way that respects legal, ethical, and organizational constraints. By maintaining or understanding and appropriately applying various influence tactics, public leaders can foster collaboration, build trust, and achieve positive outcomes for the communities they serve. Power, when exercised responsibly, can significantly enhance governance and improve the efficiency of public administration. And that would be all. Thank you.
So, good day ma'am, good day classmates. So my topic is about traits and skills approach to leadership. So traits approach to leadership focuses on inherent qualities or personal characteristics that distinguish effective leaders from others. So traits influence the leadership style, decision making, and team dynamics. So from the word traits, ito yung na-acquire natin genetically na mga characteristics or qualities bilang tao. So meron tayong limang traits. So intelligence, confidence, integrity, empathy, and resilience. So intelligence, cognitive ability, problem solving, and decision making. So intelligence, it is a person's capacity to perform various mental tasks including thinking, learning, reasoning, memory, attention, problem solving, and decision making. So in short, it is a person's ability to process and integrate information galing sa kanyang paligid or from the environment kung nasa man siya. Next is ang confidence. Under the confidence is ang self-assurance, assertiveness, and decisiveness. So, ano naman natin na may mga taong born with confidence or confident sila. Confident, ika nga, a person who believes in their own abilities, qualities, or judgment. Okay naman siya, but take note that lahat ng sobra ay nakakasama. So, too much confidence or overconfidence can lead to poor decision making, risk-taking without consideration, or failure to prepare adequately for challenges. So, next is ang integrity. Under integrity is ang honesty, ethics, and moral principles. So integrity, a person with integrity are consistent with their values, beliefs, and actions, making them trustworthy and dependable. Not only about being honest, but also being fair, responsible, and accountable. Next is ang empathy. Understanding and relating to others' feelings and perspectives. So, empathy, it is simply putting yourself in someone else's shoes and experiencing what they are going through emotionally or psychologically. For example na lang yung mga nababasa natin sa Facebook or sa kahit anong social media platforms na yung sa mga call center agent na yung mga TL nila or team leader, tinatawagan pa rin sila kahit na may sakit sila, kahit wala silang lakas pumasok, o kahit namatayan. So, kahit gano'n ang nararamdaman nila, tinatanong pa rin sila kung kaya ba nilang mag-half day, kung kaya ba nilang mag-duty. So, huwag tayong gano'n. So, isipin natin na tao din sila, hindi sila robot. So, sila ay may nararamdaman din at napapagod din. So, lastly is resilience. So, under resilience is the adaptability, flexibility, and ability to cope with stress. So, resilience is a person's ability to bounce back from adversity, setbacks, or difficult situations. So, it is about how well a person can adapt to challenges and recover after facing hardships, stress, or trauma. So, resilience doesn't mean nag-avoid ka ng difficulty, but it is rather facing the difficulties with strength and continuing moving forward. Next is ang skills approach to leadership. So it emphasizes that leadership effectiveness is not just about inherent traits, but also about what skills a leader possesses or how they are applied. Leadership can be developed through learned skills. So, hindi lang pala tayo traits, meron ding skills. So, ito sa skills, meron tayong 4. Technical, interpersonal, conceptual, and decision making. So, technical, specialized knowledge or expertise in a specific area to provide necessary team guidance. So technical skills are abilities required to perform a specific task related to the industry or area of leadership. Kaya, for example na lang, meron tayong mga seminars or workshops na sinasalihan, mapa-technical man or supervisory, for us to improve our skills and to have strong project management skills. So, yun yung purpose ng ating mga seminars, workshops. Ganun. Next is interpersonal or ability to work effectively with others. So, one of the keys to leadership ay ang effective communication. Di lang being able to speak clearly and persuasively, but also being an active listener and providing constructive feedback. So, para ma-resolve mo ang conflicts within your team, if ever man meron kayong problema, or you have to interact with them, kailangan mo yung interpersonal skills para i-build yung team members mo at ma-motivate sila sa kanilang mga ginagawa. Next is ang conceptual. Ability to think abstractly, solve complex problems, and formulate strategic visions. So, conceptual, ability to see the bigger picture, analyze complex issues, and make long-term decisions. So, ito yung sa conceptual. Next is ang decision making. So, ability to assess situations, weigh options, and make sound decisions. So, it is also an ability to take responsibility for the outcome or result of your decisions. So, itong decision making, hindi lang to basta decide or basta mag-weigh ng options, kundi kailangan mo din maging responsible at accountable sa mga ginawa mong decisions, whether good or bad yung result or the outcome na ibibigay niya. So, next naman ay ang leadership competencies. So, leadership competencies are the combination of knowledge, skills, and behaviors that leaders need to perform effectively. So, ito ay learnable and can be developed over time. So, meron tayong limang types. So, una ang strategic leadership. So, nandito yung vision, planning, and decision making. So, strategic leadership is influencing others in a way that aligns with the long-term goals. In short, it is about driving your team towards a future success by shaping their direction and ensuring it is acceptable and it is adaptable in a dynamic environment. So next is ang team leadership. So building and managing high performing teams. So team leadership halos same lang din ito sa strategic leadership, pero it is not only limited to ensuring that your team meet your goals, but it is also creating a positive and productive team, or creating a positive and productive team culture that foster collaboration, trust, and engagement. So next is ang communication. So kanina na-explain ko na tong communication, effective communication and stakeholder engagement. So hindi lang dapat magaling kang magsalita, dapat magaling ka ring makinig. So next is ang problem solving. So analytical thinking, creativity, and solution finding. So think outside the box. Kung may hindi alam, magtanong. Kasi hindi naman porket leader tayo, alam na natin lahat. So kailangan din natin mag-gather ng ideas para hindi tayo magkamali sa ating mga decision. So adaptability. So flexibility, innovation, and ability to navigate change. So alam naman natin na change is constant. So laging may change. So need natin mag-adapt, mag-innovate. Need natin mag-adapt at mag-innovate para tuloy-tuloy yung success ng team at saka makuha natin yung ating vision. So hindi tayo nag-stick lang. So kung ano yung nakasanayan, kailangan natin mag-adapt for us to go. So para mag-go yung team, kailangan natin na maging flexible. So last is ang emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, as well as recognize and influence the emotions of others. So emotional intelligence is a crucial factor in leadership because it helps leaders manage relationships, motivate teams, and navigate complex social dynamics. So dito naman sa emotional intelligence, meron tayong 5 types. So una is ang self-awareness. So it is recognizing and understanding one's own emotions and impact to others. So self-awareness is crucial because it helps you understand your leadership style, how your emotions affect your decision making, and how your actions influence your team. So next naman is ang self-regulation. So managing own emotions, impulses, and behaviors. So self-regulation, ito yung ability to manage your own emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in a way that is productive, balanced, and aligned to your values and goals. So staying focused on long-term objectives, responding to situations in a thoughtful, deliberate way, rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. So ito yung pag inutusan tayo, nauna pa yung reklamo or nagagalit kasi meron pang ginagawa, inutusan na naman. So kailangan natin i-control. Kung gusto natin maging magaling na leader or effective na leader, kailangan natin i-control yung emotion natin. So pag madaming utos or madaming gagawin, relax lang. Wag ma-high-blood agad. So, next is ang motivation. So, motivation is driving oneself and others towards goal and objective. So, ito yung isa sa mga main na trabaho ng team leader. So, kailangan mong i-motivate yung sarili mo. Motivate yung sarili mo as well as alam mo paano i-motivate yung team mo patungo sa inyong goal. Next is ang empathy. So ito na-explain ko na ito kanina. Understanding and relating others emotions and perspectives. So ito yung explain ko kanina na putting yourself in someone else's shoes. So ito yun. So last is ang social skills. So ito yung effective communication, relationship building, and conflict management. So effective communication, marunong kang makinig as well as marunong kang magsalita as well as marunong kang makinig din sa sinasabi ng team members mo. So conflict management, if ever may conflict within the team, kaya mong ayusin na naayos siya pero walang samaan ng loob at patuloy-tuloy pa rin sa kung ano yung vision at goal ng team nyo. So, in conclusion, a leader who is strategic but lacks emotional intelligence may struggle team morale, while an emotionally intelligent leader without decision-making skills may find it challenging to drive results. So, in sum, the combination of innate traits, developed skills, and emotional intelligence enhance the leader's effectiveness and achieve greater success in their roles. So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
Hello everyone, I'm Rodolfo BUENAFLOR, and I'll be reporting to you about leadership styles. First is the autocratic leadership. In this style, the leader makes decisions unilaterally without much input from others. It emphasizes control, discipline, and top-down communication. The real-life example is President Rodrigo Duterte. His war on drugs and approach to law and order showcase a strong autocratic style. He made swift decisions with minimal consultation, enforced strict policies, and centralized power. While some praised his decisiveness, critics cited concerns about human rights and lack of participatory governance. In autocratic leadership, it strongly focused on command by the leader, clear separation between leader and team members, and its works tends to be highly structured and very rigid. Democratic leadership, also known as participative leadership, this style involves team members in decision-making. Leaders seek input, encourage collaboration, and aim for consensus. Real-life example is former President Corazon Aquino. After the fall of the Marcos dictatorship, Aquino worked to restore democracy in the Philippines. She consulted with civil society, involved the public in drafting the 1987 Constitution, and promoted participatory governance. Impact: helped rebuild democratic institutions, though her leadership faced challenges in political stability. Another example is Vico Soto, Mayor of Pasig City. Engages with citizens, promotes transparency, and includes stakeholders in policy making. Notable actions: open data governance, people's participation in budgeting, and open lines of communications on social media. There are pros and cons in democratic leadership. The first pro is the creativity. It provides and encourages a climate of innovation and creativity. Collaboration facilitates collaboration where multiple people combine skills and experience to reach the best decision. Engagement: the high level of participation generally leads to high employee engagement. Cons: time-consuming. In crisis or urgent situation, it is time-consuming to involve a lot of people in decision-making. It requires expertise. Most suitable for highly skilled teams can be difficult if people lack experience and know-how. Lastly, it requires participation. When people expect to participate, they might be resentful in situations where they aren't involved or when a decision goes against them. Laissez-faire leadership. In this hands-off approach, leaders provide minimal direction and allow subordinates to make decisions. It can foster independence but may lead to confusion if misapplied. Real-life example is some local government units or the LGUs with weak oversight. In LGUs where the mayor or governor delegates heavily without consistent oversight, laissez-faire tendencies can emerge. Possible example: in certain underperforming municipalities where the local chief executive is disengaged, department heads operate independently, sometimes causing inefficient or lack of coordination. This leadership style is less commonly acknowledged in the Philippines public service because it often results in criticism due to lack of accountability or poor service delivery. Also, in laissez-faire leadership, freedom for followers to make decisions, and group members expect to solve problems on their own. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, this is Romeo LIVELO. My topic for today is Blake and Mouton managerial grid. With this topic, we will have to know what is Blake-Mouton managerial grid, 2 dimensions of leadership, what is the 5 leadership styles, possible application of grid in organization, the limitation of the grid, developing effective leadership skills, examples, and implication of the Blake and Mouton managerial grid. Blake-Mouton managerial grid is a pivotal tool in understanding the leadership styles by assessing a manager's concern for both people and production. This grid illuminates the trade-offs and balances that leaders must navigate in their roles. It was developed in the 1960s during a time when the human aspect of management began to gain recognition. Its relevance or its relevance remains strong as organizations strive for effective leadership that fosters both productivity and team morale. In the Blake and Newton managerial grid, leadership effectiveness hinges on two critical dimensions: concern for people and concern for production. An effective leader is one who can traverse the continuum of these dimensions, understanding that prioritizing people fosters a collaborative environment, while a strong focus on production aligns efforts towards meeting organizational goals. Mastering the interplay of these dimensions is key to cultivating a productive and harmonious workplace. It outlines five distinct leadership styles, each underscores by different balances of concern for people and production. Impoverished management is often ineffective, while country club management prioritizes employee satisfaction yet may falter on productivity. Task management, although results-oriented, can risk employee burnout and dissatisfaction. The middle-of-the-road management style aims to compromise, often leading to a lack of commitment in either domain, whereas team management represents the optimal approach, synergizing productivity and strong interpersonal relationships. The application of the Blake-Newton managerial grid yields significant benefits for organizations. Assessing leadership styles helps identify strengths and areas for development in leadership, ensuring that managers can be equipped to lead effectively. Moreover, by understanding how specific styles impact team dynamics, organizations can better navigate cultural challenges and enhance overall engagement. Various case studies provide insights into successful application of the grid, showcasing its relevance across different contexts and fields. While the Blake-Newton managerial grid offers significant strengths such as clarity and ease of use, it also has limitations. Its simplicity can lead to oversimplifying complex scenarios, ignoring the nuances that characterize the individual leadership behaviors. Furthermore, cultural considerations must be taken into account, as the grid may necessitate modification to resonate effective with diverse organizational environments and expectations. Developing effective leadership begins in the identification of personal leadership styles, allowing leaders to embrace self-awareness and derive insights that can enhance their effectiveness. Adaptability to team needs is crucial for leaders, enabling them to respond effectively to the diverse dynamics that characterize the teams. However, organizations must invest in ongoing training and development initiatives to ensure that leaders are equipped with the skills and knowledge necessary to thrive in a constantly evolving landscape. Many organizations have demonstrated successful implementations of the Blake-Newton managerial grid, leading to enhanced leadership effectiveness and sustainable performance improvement. Lessons learned from these implementations provide invaluable insights into the ongoing evolution of leadership practices. Further, comparative analysis showcased that transformation experienced by organizations, reinforcing the importance of structured assessment in cultivating a positive organizational culture and high performance. Blake and Newton grid serves as essential tool for understanding the nuances of leadership, equip leaders with insights that can elevate their effectiveness.
Good day everyone. So today I'll be discussing contingency approaches to leadership. Leadership has long been a central topic in the fields of management and organizational behavior. Early leadership theories focused on identifying inherent traits or behaviors that made a leader successful. However, the limitations of these trait-based and behavior-based approaches led to the development of contingency theories of leadership, which argues that the effectiveness of leadership depends on contextual factors such as leadership styles, followers' needs, and situational variables. This study delves into the contingency approaches to understand their theoretical underpinnings and practical implications. The contingency theory of leadership is grounded in the idea that there is no one-size-fits-all leadership style. Instead, the most effective leadership depends on the context or situations in which it is exercised. Contingency theories assert that leadership effectiveness arises when the leader's style aligns appropriately with the situational variables. So two of the most influential contingency models are Fiedler's contingency model. It focuses on the fit between leadership, style, and situational favorableness. So the next model is Hersey-Bletcher's situational leadership theory. Focuses on adapting leadership style based on followers' readiness or development level. Fiedler's contingency model. One of the first and most influential contingency theories, Fiedler's model suggests that a leader's effectiveness is contingent on the match between their leadership style and the favorability of the situation. Fiedler identified two leadership styles: the task-oriented and relationship-oriented. According to the model, task-oriented leaders perform better in situations where control is either very high or very low, while relationship-oriented leaders thrive in situations where control is moderate. One of the first and most influential contingency theories, Fiedler's model suggests that a leader's effectiveness is contingent on the match between their leadership style and the favorability of the situation. Fiedler identified two leadership styles: the task-oriented and relationship-oriented. According to the model, task-oriented leaders perform better in situations where control is either very high or very low, while relationship-oriented leaders thrive in situations where control is moderate. So, leadership style, the LPC scale. Fiedler measured leadership style using the least preferred coworker, or the LPC scale, which asks leaders to rate the coworker they least enjoyed working with. High LPC score indicates a relationship-oriented leader values in interpersonal relationship, even with difficult colleagues. So, low LPC score indicates a task-oriented leader more focused on task completions and performance outcomes. So, situational favorableness, there are three variables. So, that is how much control and influence the leader is determined by. So, the first one is the leader-member relations. So, the degree of trust, respect, and confidence between the leader and followers. High leader-member relations makes a situation favorable, while poor relations decrease favorability. So, the second one is task structure, the degree to which a task is clearly defined and structured. High task structure makes a situation more favorable for task-oriented leaders. So, the third one is leader's position power, the leader's formal authority to reward or punish. More power typically leads to a favorable situation for a leader. So, the next one is situational favorableness has three variables. So, that is how much control and influence the leader is determined by. So, the first one is leader-member relations, the degree of trust, respect, and confidence between the leader and followers. High leader-member relations make a situation favorable, while poor relations decrease favorability. So, the next one is task structure. So, the degree to which task is clearly defined and structured. High task structure makes situation more favorable for task-oriented leaders. So, the third one is leader's position power. So, the leader's formal authority to reward or punish. More power typically leads to a favorable situation for a leader. So, matching leadership styles to situations. Fiedler's model identifies 8 different leadership situations combining levels of 3 variables. He concluded Task-oriented leaders, low LPC performs best when the situation is very favorable, everything is under control, or very unfavorable, in crisis, or it needs directions. So relationship-oriented leaders or high LPC perform better in moderately favorable situations, where human dynamics and cooperation are more important than rigid control. So example, a fire chief during an emergency, poor relations, unstructured, weak power, is in an unfavorable situation. A task-oriented leader, though LPC, would be more effective here. So in contrast, a project team leader overseeing a group of professionals with good relationships and moderate ambiguity benefits from a relationship-oriented approach. So that would be all. And the next presenter would be ABEDIN ASNOR. Thank you.
I am ASNOR ABEDIN and I'll be discussing Hersey Blanchard's situational leadership theory, one of the most adaptable and practical leadership model we can apply in real-world settings. Let's begin by understanding the foundation of this theory. This theory was developed in the late 1960s by Paul Hersey and Ken Blanchard. Its central message is that leadership should be flexible. Instead of applying one leadership style across the board, a good leader adjusts their style depending on the maturity, or what the authors call the readiness of their followers. In short, leadership is not about the leader's personality, but about what the followers need in that moment. Hersey and Blanchard identified 4 leadership styles, which are based on a combination of task behavior, how much guidance the leader provides, and relationship behavior, how much support they give. In style 1, which is telling or directing, it has high task, low relationship. The leader gives clear instructions and closely supervises. Style 2, which is selling or coaching, it has high task, high relationship. The leader explains decisions and encourages follower involvement. In style 3, participating or supporting, it has low task and a high relationship. The leader shares decisions and focuses on building confidence. In style 4, which is delegating, low task, low relationship. The leader hands off responsibility and trusts the follower to act independently. Each of these styles is designed to match the needs of different types of followers. Next, let's talk about follower readiness, also called the development level. This is defined by 2 things: the follower's competence and their commitment. In development level 1, low competence and low commitment. It needs style 1 of leadership style, which is telling or directing. And development level 2, some competence but low confidence or motivation. It needs style 2, which is selling or coaching. And in development level 3, high competence but verbal commitment. It needs style 3, leadership style, which is participating. And in development level 4, it has high competence and high commitment. It needs style 4, which is delegating. So essentially, as a follower grows in skill and confidence, the leader's style should evolve alongside them. Matching style to readiness. The key takeaway here is alignment. Leadership effectiveness depends on how well a leader matches their style to the follower's readiness level. To do this, a leader must first assess or diagnose the development level of each team member and then adapt their behavior accordingly. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Let's apply this to a workplace scenario. A new employee who lacks both skill and confidence is at the development level 1. This person needs the style 1, which is the telling style or directing. Clear instructions, define tasks, and close supervision. Now, compare that to an experienced team leader with high competence and motivation. They are at the development level 4, and they thrive under the style 4, which is the delegating style, where the leader steps back and allows them to operate independently. These examples show how the model can guide leadership decisions on a day-to-day basis. Let's apply this to a workplace scenario. A new employee who lacks both skill and confidence is at the development level 1. This person needs the style 1, which is the telling style or directing. Clear instructions, define tasks, and close supervision. Now, compare that to an experienced team leader with high competence and motivation. They are at the development level 4, and they thrive under the style 4, which is the delegating style, where the leader steps back and allows them to operate independently. These examples show how the model can guide leadership decisions on a day-to-day basis.
Hi, my name is STELLA ELANGA. The next topic is path goal theory of leadership and empowerment. I'm the first reporter to discuss the path goal theory of leadership. Robert J. House was a respected American psychologist and professor who focused on leadership and how people behave in organization. He most well known for creating the path goal theory of leadership in 1971. He also led the GLOBE project, a big international research study that looked at how leadership works in different cultures around the world. During his career, he taught at top universities like the University of Pennsylvania and made a big impact on how we understand leadership in various settings. The path goal theory he developed is based on the idea that people are more motivated when they believe their efforts will lead to success and rewards. This comes from what's called expectancy theory. Later in 1990s, House updated and improved the theory, but the main message stayed the same. Leaders should support their team by guiding them toward their goals and choosing the leadership style that fits the situation best. 4 leadership styles in path goal theory. First, directive leadership. Second, supportive leadership. Third is participative leadership. And fourth is achievement-oriented leadership. Directive leadership. It is when a leader gives clear directions, lay out exactly what's expected, and guides the team step by step on how to get things done. This style helps remove confusion and gives team members the confidence they need to complete their tasks successfully. For example, a project manager is leading a team that's working on a tight deadline for a client presentation. The task is complex and some team members are unsure about how to proceed. The manager steps in and first, he breaks down the project into clear, specific tasks, assign each task to the right team member, sets deadlines for each part of the work, gives detailed instruction on how to perform and present the content, and regularly checks in to make sure that everyone is on track. This approach helps the team stay focused, reduce confusion, and ensures that the project is completed correctly on time. Next is supportive leadership. It is when a leader includes their team in making decisions. Instead of deciding everything alone, they ask for input, listen to their team's idea, and take their opinions seriously. This approach helps build teamwork and creates a more collaborative environment. Example, a customer service team has dealing with a high volume of difficult calls, and the stress is starting to affect their morale. The team leader notices the pressure and steps in with a supportive leadership approach. Here's what the leader does. First, holds a quick daily check-in to ask how the team is doing and let them vent if needed. Second, brings in snack and encourage small breaks to help relieve stress. Third, reminds the team that their hard work is appreciated and shares positive feedback from satisfied customers. And last, offers one-on-one for anyone who needs extra support or just someone to talk to. By being caring, approachable, and emotional supportive, the leader helps the team feel valued and motivated, even during tough times. Third leadership style is participative leadership. It is when the leader actively involves their team members in the decision-making process rather than making all the decisions on their own. The leader encourages input from team members, valuing their opinions and ideas. This style fosters collaboration and teamwork. For example, in the human resource or HR department, the manager is planning to update the company's employee wellness program. Instead of deciding everything on their own, the manager calls a meeting and invites all HR staff to share their ideas and suggestions. During the meeting, first, team members give feedback on what employees have been asking for. Second, some suggest adding mental health days while the others propose monthly wellness workshop. And last, the manager listens carefully, discuss the pros and cons with the team, and together they come up with a plan. By involving the team in the decision-making process, the manager not only gets valuable insights, but also makes the team feel heard, respected, and engaged in the outcome. Last leadership style is achievement-oriented leadership. It is when a leader sets the bar high and pushes the team to reach their full potential. They motivate everyone to aim for top performance and go above what's expected. This style is all about getting great results and inspiring the team to stay committed and driven. Example, a sales team is performing well. but the manager believes they can do even better. Instead of being satisfied with the just meeting monthly targets, the manager challenges the team to increase their sales by 20% over the next quarter. To support this goal, the manager first shares a clear vision of success and what hitting that 20% increase would mean for the team and company. Second, encourages friendly competition with leaderboards and incentives. Third, offers coaching and advanced training to help improve skills. And last, shows confidence in each team's members' ability to rise to the challenge. By setting high expectation and providing the tools and encouragement to meet them, the manager drives the team to aim higher and reach new performance levels. Next is, as you can see, it is a table summarize the 4 leadership style of goal theory of leadership with cons and pros of in a work environment. In leadership style directive, the pros of it is clarifies role and expectation, effective for complex or ambiguous tasks, and increases productivity in structured environments. Cons can reduce employee autonomy and creativity and may demotivate experienced or independent workers. Next, supportive leadership. Cons of it is boost morale and job satisfaction, builds trust and loyalty, and reduces stress in monotonous or stressful jobs. The cons may be seen as weak in high-pressure situations, can lead to lack of discipline or direction. Third is participative. The pros is encourages creativity and engagement, builds commitment to decisions, and enhance problem solving with diverse input. Cons, time-consuming decision process, and may cause confusion if roles aren't well defined. Last, leadership style is achievement-oriented. Pros is motivates high performance, encourages innovation and excellence, and builds confidence and resilience. Cons can overwhelm less capable of inexperienced employees and may lead to burnout if expectations are too high. In conclusion, the path goal theory of leadership emphasizes that a leader's role is to clear the path for their team to achieve goals by adapting their style to fit the needs of their employees and the situation. In the workplace, this means understanding individual motivations, offering support, and removing obstacles to success, whether through directive guidance, supportive behavior, participative decision-making, or achievement-oriented strategies. In everyday life, the theory applies just as well. Effective leadership in families, communities, or personal relationships often involves helping others to achieve their goals by being flexible, encouraging, and responsive to their needs. Ultimately, the path goal theory reminds us that good leadership isn't about control. It's about empowerment and alignment. That's all. Thank you.
About power. A leadership approach strengthens public service by helping people act with confidence and responsibility. Empowerment is about giving people authority, support, and trust so they can make decisions, solve problems, take action effectively. It's not just delegation, it's building an environment where people feel capable, valued, and motivated. In Philippine public service, this is very important. We handle complex, sensitive tasks every day. Empowered employees are more motivated, more proactive, and more accountable to the people we serve. This is competence. Competence is making sure people have the right knowledge and skills to perform well. Training and professional development are critical. Just like test programs, upskilling seminars, and workshops help employees stay updated and confident in their work. Service meaning. Meaning happens when employees see the value of their task. When they understand that their work contributes to public welfare, they become more engaged. Example of this is a frontline worker processing business permits isn't just filling out forms. They are supporting the city's economy. Fourth is impact. Impact means employees feel that their contributions matter and create real change. Recognizing their efforts, even small ones, help them stay committed. Example of this, a simple application letter from the supervisor can remind the clerk that their role helps keep services efficient. Even a simple good job in praises is ay malaking bagay na para sa kanila. Among these four elements, autonomy, competence, meaning, impact, which one do you think the office needs to strengthen more? Now let's talk about how leaders remove obstacles for empowerment. Number one, clarify roles and expectations. Confusion weakens empowerment. Leaders must clearly define roles, tasks, and performance expectations. Example, in government, we have SPMS or the Strategic Performance Management System to help employees know exactly what targets they need to hit. Next is we have to provide resources and tools. It's not enough to expect results without giving support. People need the proper tools, training, and updated systems. When we shifted to e-governance, digital skills training was essential for frontline staff to continue delivering services efficiently. Halos lahat naman kasi ito yung tinatawag na innovation and digitalization. So, kinakailangan proficient sila sa paggamit of. Number 3, eliminate bureaucracy and red tape. Heavy, slow procedures discourage action. Ang daming pagdadaanan, ang daming registers, ang daming pupuntahan. Masyadong nakakapagpabagal ng process. Leaders must streamline processes wherever possible. Some LGUs improve turnaround time by digitizing internal memos. So, mas kakabuti, gumamit na rin tayo ng paper na pato. It's one of the education na dapat natin. Removing the need for endless chasing of signatures. Number 4, challenge unfair system for hierarchy. If opportunities are only open to a few, others lose motivation. So, kailangan fair. Lahat pare-parehas tayo. Kapag may opportunity, hindi lang yung isa, hindi lang si Pablo. Lahat para sa. Leaders must promote inclusivity and fairness in career advancement. A regional agency, for example, initiated leadership programs specifically to support women and minority groups to move into supervisory roles. Now next, how leaders build follower confidence. Empowerment also needs confidence building. When people feel confident, they become more engaged and take initiative. There are four practical ways leaders can build confidence. Number one, mentoring and coaching. Spend time guiding employees, not just commanding them. Help them solve problems, think critically, and grow. A supervisor who regularly gives feedback and advice develops stronger staff than one who only gives orders. Number two, recognize and reward effort. Appreciation builds confidence. Recognize that not just big achievements, but small improvements too. By saying, for example, just saying good job on handling the client well today can lift an employee's morale instantly. Next, you encourage participation in planning and decision making. Involving staff in planning shows that their ideas matter. Nararamdaman nila na kasama sila sa organization or institution at pinapahalaga ng kanilang mga ideas. It builds ownership and responsibility. For example, involving frontline workers in designing new office procedures leads to more practical and accepted policies. Number four, model trust and competence. Leaders must set the example by trusting others and doing their own work well. Avoid micromanagement dahil yung micromanagement ay nagpapakita na hindi mo pinagkakatiwalaan. Trust your people to handle their tasks. Provide support only when needed, not by hovering. Let me leave you with this quote. Empowerment isn't about giving people power. It's about unlocking the power they already have. You don't have to create talent or skills. Your people already have them. Our role as leaders is to test, support, and guide them so they can use their strengths fully. What small step can you take today to empower someone in your office or team? Thank you very much. And that ends my report.
For the conclusion, leadership is a dynamic concept that shapes daily interaction and organizational outcomes. Effective leaders blend adaptability, self-awareness, strategic thinking, and a balance of concern for people and production, as emphasized in the managerial grid, Fiedler's contingency model, and Howe's path goal theory. Leadership is not one size fits all. It requires adjusting strategies to meet varying team and situational needs. Key leadership practices also involve emotional intelligence, self-awareness, regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills, which help navigate complex interpersonal dynamics and foster a positive work culture. Understanding how to wield power is crucial. Empowering employees through autonomy and support enhances motivation, accountability, and performance. In the workplace, these principles create environments that are efficient, engaging, and supportive. Effective leadership is ultimately a dynamic process of applying the right styles to the right situation and nurturing individuals and organizational growth towards sustained success. That is all for our topic leadership. We are the PA215 G3-C Group D, and in behalf of our group, we thank you all for listening.